Hello boys and girls. Welcome back to Story Time with Grandma Pat. Remember, we're doing a series of stories by Kimberly P. Johnson. And this book tonight is called Tag Along Fred. And the wonderful illustrations are by John Cimino. This young man, his name is Fred. When Fred woke up, it was a beautiful day. The kind of day that was perfect to play. Fred told his mom, "I want to make this day as great as it can be." She said, "Then Fred, find something different to do. It's easy, you will see. You can enjoy interesting things if you take time and look. You can draw a picture, write a story, or even read a book." "No," said Fred, "I want to do something even more different than that." "I'll think of something," he said, as he reached for his hat. When Fred went outside, the fire truck drove by. It was shiny and red, with a ladder that reached the sky. The truck stopped near the hydrant at the end of the street. Then Mr. Perez stepped down from his driver's seat. "Hi, Mr. Perez. I'm going to be a tag-along today. May I tag along with you to see if the hydrants are okay?" "Sure," said Mr. Perez. "I inspect the hydrants every week to make sure that we can see them and that they don't have a leak. You will have to make sure that the reflection is seen at night and that no trash or grass keeps it hidden from our sight." "Oh, that's okay. I don't mind." So Mr. Perez kept inspecting and Fred tagged along behind. You see Fred? He's tagging along behind the fire. "Oh, your job is so important, and I never really knew how much we can depend on all the work you do. Firemen do a lot of work." Fred thanked Mr. Perez and waved goodbye. Then he saw another truck that caught his eye. This truck was loud as it rumbled down the street. It was a garbage man picking up a load. "Excuse me, Mr. Banks. I'm a tag-along today. May I tag along with you if I stay out of your way?" "Sure," said Mr. Banks. "My job is hard to do, but you may tag along with me if you really want to. Sometimes I pick up bags that aren't always sturdy. So if you tag along with me, you might get a little bit dirty." And there's Mr. Banks. "That's okay. I don't mind." So Mr. Banks continued working and Fred tagged along behind. "Oh, your job is so important. I never really knew how much we can depend on all the work you do." These are people that help us every day. Then as Fred went home to rest for a minute, he checked the mailbox to see if there was anything in it. And that's when he saw Mr. Green walk by. Mr. Green was a mailman, and he always said hi. "Hi, Mr. Green." Fred waved to Mr. Green, and he said with a smile, "I'm a tag-along today. May I follow you for a while?" Let's see what happens. "Sure," said Mr. Green. "But I walk a lot each day. My bag starts out heavy and it gets lighter along the way. You may have to deliver mail, even when the sky is gray, to families and to friends who may live far, far away." "Oh, that's okay. I don't mind." So Mr. Green walked off and Fred tagged along behind. your job is so important, and I never really knew how much we can depend on all the work you do. As Fred waved goodbye, he had to cross the street, and that's when he saw the traffic cop. Her name was Mrs. Pete. You see Fred and Mrs. Pete? Do you have a traffic cop where you live? Hi, said Mrs. Pete. I'm a tag-along today. May I tag along with you and help you point the way? Sure, said Mrs. Pete. But there are rules to obey. Stop, look, and listen. That's what I always say. You must stand outside in the rain and heat and snow so that you can tell others where to go or when it's safe to go. That's okay, I don't mind. So Mrs. Pete crossed the street and Fred tagged along behind. Oh, your job is so important, and I never really knew how much we can depend on all the work you do. Let's see. Fred had an exciting day today. When Fred came home, he told his mom and dad what he had learned that day about jobs and duties and how people earn their pay. They said, every job is important, and we must always remember to be thankful and appreciate all that others do. Mom smiled and said, I'm glad you did something different, Mr. Tag-along Fred. After dinner, we'll read a story, and then you can tag along to bed. Let's see. And here's Fred in his bed. But think about it. Who did we see today? Let's see. First, Fred saw, who was that? Oh my goodness, the fireman. And then he saw the garbage man. And then he saw the mailman and the traffic cop. Can you remember that? He tagged along today with 4 different people. Don't forget now. And when Mom show you the story again, you'll be able to remember who Fred tagged along with. So thank you, boys and girls. See you next time.